morning, Australia, or Australian Anti-Ice Campaign. Welcome everybody. We're here live streaming from Cairns and we are having another session of Let's Talk About Ice on the Couch. It's been an amazing time up here in Cairns. We've been able to develop a team up here and work with some local people that are providing family support, local service providers that we've linked in with to be able to help people in the community here. So we've already been working in some schools, and a little bit later on I'll bring some of the boys on the show to have a bit of a chat about how that's gone down, and we're going to visit some prisons as well tomorrow. But it's been really exciting to be able to outreach to the community here and put something in place, more importantly, something proactive, yeah? AARC have over 14 projects that we're rolling out across Queensland, Adelaide, Sydney, Victoria, and out here in Cairns, and it is a community problem, so we need the community to get involved. So, you know, if you're out here and you're watching this live stream, we urge you to share this post. You don't know who you're going to help out there, who needs to connect with us, and who needs support. So just in case you don't know and you're just new to the show, AARC are here to educate and raise awareness about the dangers of the drug called ice. But we also talk about other drugs as being the doorway to heavier drugs, and it's an entrapment. So apart from raising awareness and doing education in schools and workplaces and throughout communities in different states, we also act as buddies and we do brief intervention. So from lived experience, all of our educators and presenters like myself have been there. We've been trained up to deliver education, but also to sit with somebody that might be in addiction. We know where they are. And our heart is to help them out and help them create a plan to step into recovery, because they're not able to do that for themselves. You know, ice hijacks the frontal lobe of that brain, and they're not able to make those logical, rational choices. So we're here to help. So that's what we do, amongst many things. But we're sitting on the couch today, and we've been blessed to be able to rope in. We'll have our good friends Shane, and he's here. He's from Cairns, and he's been working in the community tirelessly, and he's got a heart to help, you know, the lost and the people that are hurting in addiction. But we're going to welcome Shane on the show.
Hey, how you going? Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Yeah. You know, it's a real privilege to be able to sit on the couch with you and share. And all this, guys, is in the name of awareness, and it is to, you know, we're not sharing to air our dirty laundry, you know, and we're not proud of that, of what we've been through, but it is in hope that somebody out there can learn from our mistakes and our choices that we've made, and you know, we're blessed to have come out the other side, Shane.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, you know, it's been an amazing trip here in Cairns, and you now work with Centre Care, but it didn't start like that, Shane, did it? You've been blessed to be able to be in that position. Can you tell us a little bit and share with people at home a little bit about your journey and how you were introduced, you know, to drugs? And
yeah, where do you start with that sort of? Yeah. Oh, geez. Where do I start?
Well, go back. What happened when you first? How did you first start using drugs? You know, what happened? What were you thinking?
Geez, that's a good question, and it sort of probably started. You know, there were certain role models in my life that, you know, you know, like the soft drugs seemed okay, so that was kind of accepted within the people that I hung around with,
yep,
as like a young fella, and you know, I sort of found myself being that type of person that just seemed to want more, like, you know, I just wanted to do more of.
yep.
Where some of the other kids at school, you know, would be happy to have a drink or have a smoke of weed, but I just always wanted more. I was always chasing that next thing. So things just progressed, you know, until I sort of, age 18 or 19, I found heroin, and that really sort of took a hold quickly.
Yep.
And
So you started using recreational drugs initially? Pot?
Smoked. I started with cigarettes, then pot. There was a little bit of acid, and this is like mid-90s, so this was kind of that was kind of the flavour, if you like. I first used like the trucker's speed. You'd buy that for about $50 for a gram, and I'd score that off like your mate's older sister and older brothers and that kind of thing. But it was always sort of recreational, I guess. The pot was kind of regular, but it was always that chasing more, and always been attracted to, like I think I was sort of using drugs. Looking back at it, I was always using to avoid something, where others that seem to have a healthier relationship with drugs, if you can say people can, or a healthy relationship with alcohol, we're doing it more, yes, take it or leave it. But that wasn't the case for me. I was always just wanting to chase more and always keen to try something new, and it was, looking back at it, knowing myself now, it was a way to escape. I was always trying to escape reality, and I didn't like me, and I didn't really like myself. So I think, looking back at that, and I've sort of found myself hanging with people that had a similar opinion of themselves. So we sort of like attracts like,
That's right.
So that was kind of, looking back, that was the path, so.
So what happened? Then you got onto heroin, and that was a bit of a downer, to say the least. Sorry, I hope that, no pun intended. How did that turn out? Like, how long were you using that? Were you injecting?
So I first started that it would have been, I think, 98, maybe not late 97, but 98 I was into it. That addiction went until 2009/2010, but 2009 was where the real significant change started. So I don't know, what's that, 11 years? And then along the way I also found the ice as well.
So what happened, Shane, like, did you find yourself deteriorating physically with the heroin and your life falling apart as such, or were you able to maintain a life?
In the beginning I was able to sort of, for about 6 to 9 months, I was able to manage it. And I was actually working. I was a trade assistant. I was working, and I was able to use on the weekend. And then I started Wednesday night, and then soon you sort of fill in the gaps. You just do. You just kind of want more. And within 9 months, I couldn't hold down the job. And and at that point, it was actually like 9 months a year into it. Mum sort of spoke with my uncle who lives in New Zealand and flew over there to think, that was going to be the solution, go over there for a while and work with him, and I did that. So a little break for a few months.
So did you find the drug there as well?
No, I didn't look for it.
No?
I didn't look for the heroin in New Zealand, but just drunk. I was still in pain. I was just drinking, and my uncle drunk. So that was, that worked for my situation. Smoked hash. There was a lot of hash oil at the time. I can remember my cousins, and then I got sort of sick of New Zealand. The money wasn't that good, and I don't know, I was coming up with excuses to get back to Australia because I think I still had the taste for heroin. So it was just a band-aid solution. There was no recovery, and I was still very much in pain, and I had no insight. So I was doing the best I knew how at that time. So.
And how was that impacting your family and your relationships? Because that's what is really hard hitting. You might decide that you want to destroy yourself, but what about the people around you that really love you and care for you? How was that, Shane?
Mate, and this is the thing. I can only look back because in the moment while I was doing it, I was so blinded by what. But I can only reflect back and look and go, oh shit, that was terrible. I can actually see how Mum, I can understand how she was feeling, but I was so set thinking about myself. I couldn't see past, myself, and I had just poor insight into what's going on.
But when you're, when you're addicted, you don't see what's happening around you, to a substance like heroin or ice. For with ice, I mean, it hijacks the frontal lobe, so logic, rational decision, doesn't take place. So it's hard to make, you might get glimpses of, you don't want to be in that situation or be hurting that person, but that goes really quickly. So is that the same with heroin? Like, do you still have, that frontal lobe logic or processing, thought process of what you're doing to your life or your people around you?
Once you've hit that full blown,
Yeah.
and once you've gone to that place, and I think in the beginning I was able to sort of manage it, but once I hit that, it seemed like from that moment on, as soon as I touch it, I'd go from what's the expression, one too many, 1,000 not enough. It was just instant.
Yeah.
All I cared about, all I thought about was the next shot. And I might be able to get a few days, but I was lying to myself.
Yeah.
The reality was I was just going to go chase it,
Yeah.
and I pretend, I'd tell mum or dad, or oh yeah, no, I'm going to work now, and it's all sweet, and I was just thinking the next shot,
Yeah,
So
that's right.
And then when things got desperate and I was hanging out and I was sick, then I didn't care. I didn't care what I did and the people I hurt in the process. I didn't care about myself.
That's right, let alone other people.
Yeah.
When you're entrapped in addiction, you're self-destructing, and you're not really not only aware of people around you, but you don't really care. You're just on a mission, and that's what the drug it takes over. It takes over. So Shane, how did you transfer from heroin to ice? Like, what happened? Like, heroin's a downer.
Heroin was always there. Heroin was always part of the picture. So it never left. It was probably still. But the ice, I sort of noticed. My first contact with ice was 2003, and I was actually in prison at the time, and it just sort of ended up in the unit, and I had no idea, but I'd never seen it before. I'd heard a little bit, but.
Sorry, can we just have a little commercial break? You didn't tell me that you got into prison. So was that a consequence of your lifestyle that you were living on heroin?
Yeah, absolutely.
What happened? How'd you get there?
It's steal or deal, really, and I couldn't afford heroin. It was expensive, and I needed it every day, and I couldn't hold down a job.
Yeah.
So I did break the law, and
that's what happens.
And as a consequence, I ended up in jail. So
that's not a place that you want to end up, and that's what we talk about in our workshops. You're going to end up in three places really if you embark in ice addiction very, very quickly, because this drug takes over your brain very, very quickly. You'll end up in a place that you don't want to be, and that results to mental health institute. You're going to end up in prison or dead. That's the end result. It's a hamburger with a lot, and everybody ends up at that place, So we're educating youth and communities about the dangers of that. But I'm interested, Shane, about the transfer from heroin into ice. Like, did somebody just come along and say, mate, try this instead, or how was that? How was it that day?
Oh yeah, I just anything to get out of it, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't sort of, it was there, and so I was happy to use it. And I was just chasing. I was always chasing that next. Because I didn't like who I was. I wasn't content. So I was always chasing to get out of reality. I wasn't accepting reality. I wasn't accepting life in life's terms.
So how did you find that trip with ice?
Like the first shot I had of ice, I noticed, the first thing I did notice with that was just how, I was supposed to do a bunch of things that afternoon, and my afternoon program went out the window, and I was just doing silly things like cleaning and just standing shoelace, and I was just so distracted, and I just noticed just how much it takes you away from reality, it was quite interesting actually, and up all night and all that sort of thing, and
So when you came out of prison, did you chase ice? Did you still take ice?
Look, I did notice a lot of people make a switch from heroin in the early 2000s, and there was a real crossover time, and it seemed like it was harder to get heroin, and there was more readily, the fast the ice was more readily available.
Yeah.
And I did notice that, you know, that shift, and I did notice a lot of blokes were, like, I'd see them and they were chopping into the slow, the heroin, and then they would sort of come back through and they were just messed up. And what happened? And they started the Iceman, and it was becoming more mainstream, like it was really starting to get out there, and it was just damaging people, eh? You know, like,
it's a synthetic drug, Shane.
Yeah.
It really does. It takes hold really, really quickly, and it takes you to, especially with the purity of it on the streets today.
Yeah.
You know, when 5 years ago, Shane, when I was using ice, it was, you know, the strength would have been, 20-25%. Today on the street, you're looking at up to 90%.
Yeah, it's crazy, Andrea.
Purity.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
It's not any purer. It's not any better for you.
No.
What that means is that it's
just
more
going to damage you.
concentrate.
It's just going to damage you so much more and so much quicker.
Yep.
You know, I would hate to be like, I guess I'm grateful that I'm out of it now, because it damaged me, and the purity was nowhere near what it is now. So scary stuff, really scary.
So how did you make a decision, or what happened for you to get out of addiction? Like, get out of using. Like, what happened? What made? Did you just wake up one day and said, I'm not going to use anymore? Or what happened?
Sort of thing, but but there was a lot of lead up little moments to that, and I think I exhausted every avenue of trying to, I was trying to create this reality, and I was trying to create this world, and it just ended in tears. Didn't matter how I tried, it just ended the same way every time. And I got to the end, and I was just broken, and I was out of ideas. I didn't know what to do anymore. It's the scariest part of my life, but I guess it was the opportunity, because I was like finally sort of willing to do something that other than
Then use.
Yeah.
So what was that something, Shane? Like, we're talking to people at home, because people are out there and they're contemplating change. Yeah, you're in addiction, and you're going, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. What was that something that you decided to do that would change everything for you?
Rehab. Because I had tried. It wasn't like I hadn't tried to. Like, I had tried to stop, and I tried to manage, and I tried to do it my way. And I did all the things, but I just knew I needed something extra, and so for me, I needed to be in a rehab, and I had a couple of mates who had done the rehab, and they had a few years up, and their lives were like just amazing, and they were different people, and they were working at the rehab, and so they really encouraged me to get down to the Gold Coast, and that was that. I needed that. I think I needed a little bit of that push and that encouragement. But I just knew I couldn't do it myself. It just didn't work out for me.
So working in the industry now, Shane, as a counsellor, and helping people, budding them and helping them to make better choices and walk through recovery steps. How do you know when somebody's ready to make that choice? The families out there, because there's a lot of families out there, they're hurting, and we hear you, and we're here to help, and to put some light on that. So how do you know when they're ready? What's the key for the families out there? How do they? Okay, I've got too many questions.
No, it's good what you're asking.
How do the families out there go? I want to help my loved one.
Broken. The person you're looking like when I'm talking with the lads. And I work up at the prison on a Monday, and a lad, when you can see the brokenness on his face, and you can see the desperation and the tears, you can see really just a broken man and broken person, broken spirit, and that's when they're sort of saying, I'm out of ideas, and I don't want to keep doing this. It's not working out for me, and that's the bit because otherwise you think you're sweet, and you think, oh no, I'm sweet, I'm fine, I'll work this one out.
That's right.
That might be your story, buddy, but I'm fine. And it's when the person goes, man. So there needs to be this sort of willingness, like, I don't know how to do it. I'm asking you, I'm stuck, and I'm scared because I'm just going to go out and using it, but there's that,
So they're actually reaching out.
The brokenness, and so it's kind of sometimes it's a really hard thing to actually watch somebody. You almost need to allow them to become broken.
Yes, yeah, and that's what we work with families with our family support. We do live streaming as well with family support, and we have counsellors and psychologists, and they live stream into your home and into your family support groups with tools to be able to teach families how not to enable their loved one and still love them. So I love you, I don't love what you're doing, and I'm not going to give you money, and I'm not going to enable you to shoot up and to hit up again, because you're just destroying yourself. And it's hard. It's very really hard, you know, and it hurts, you know, the family member to see, you know, their loved one being out on the street or and you know, begging for some money, because, and I'll tell you, they'll lie to you and say that, you know, they want money for food and to pay the rent, and you know, it's not real, guys. You know, you've got to let them fend for themselves and get to the end of themselves, and then that's when you can see that window of opportunity. And that's where AAIC have been really successful, and in the work that you do here, Shane's been amazing up here. We've been able to tag team and work together to really reach out to people, because we've been there. Yeah, we've been where your loved ones are, and if they're entrapped in addiction, we know where it hurts, where they're hurting, and we know how to help make a pathway into recovery for them, you know, and buddy them and you know, believe in them, and kind of, they can't put wool over our eyes, because we know when they really want recovery, hey, and we're here to help, you know. So the number for family support of AAIC is 0481 844 555. You can also reach us on the landline number at head office 07 5665 6063, and if you are in Cairns, we will then transfer that call accordingly to your state. So we have now open offices in Adelaide, in Victoria. We're now in Cairns, opening a head office in Cairns and getting a team together to do some work on the ground here. We've been training some amazing presenters who have, you know, 2 and 3 years up, one even 6 years up in recovery, who have a heart to help other people that are in addiction create pathways into recovery, but most importantly, also to help educate our next generation, because they don't need to go through some of that pain, hey Shane?
No, that's it. And it's, you know, discovering like I think if I would have had tools to deal with the pain to begin with, you know, I was doing what I thought was the best, you know, but if I would have, like learnt tools, you know, how to deal with the underlying pain. So, you know, the truth is finding, you know, the reality of your situation, I think, you know, but prevention is better than cure, you know, and I think going back to, if we rewind the tape back to the school days, I think there could have been, you know, if I would have understood, that things may have been different. Yeah. So.
Well, you know, it's prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we've got a lot of teens come out and talk to us when we do workshops, and they're, you know, saying, "Man, I didn't know that," and thank you for sharing so honestly. We didn't know that that's what's going to happen. You know, they're out there being offered party pills that are cut with ice. You know, marijuana that's been laced with ice. You know, they get more addicted, they get more turnover, you know, so they're coming back for more, and before they know it, they have a raging ice habit. And, you know, ice hijacks the frontal lobe of the brain, and soon the drug takes charge, and they've got a raging, you know, spiral down addiction into hell. It really is, and we don't want that for anyone.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, we're here to help. So, I mean, there's a lot of families out there that I speak to, and they, you know, they say, you know, my son or my daughter or my mother wanted rehab, but there was nothing available. You know, are there any other options, Shane? Like, I know I'll explain a little bit what AAIC recommend, but what about with centre care and there's a community here up in Cairns? What options have people got?
Yeah, there is options. There's always options. There's always hope. Yeah. And there's drug and alcohol counsellors. There's Quinn, there's ATODs. We offer counselling through Centre Care. We offer a coaching service. There's people, you know, that have got some understanding of addictions, you know, in our community. What else? There's NA meetings. You know, man, like it's powerful. You know, an NA meeting is is certainly worth a shot. What else is there? And there's rehabs. You know, we've got a few rehabs up here. You know, but they're busy. They're always busy. It's probably one area we are struggling with up here in Cairns is a detox centre. Yeah. You know, we could certainly use a detox centre up in the far north. Yes. But yeah, so there is some options. I'm missing stuff. I know I am.
Yeah, but we have an array of numbers. So if you're interested in finding out what services are available, please contact us. And we do have a team up here in Cairns who can, you know, give you instructions. Shane's one of those people, and he'll be able to help with resources and giving you options.
I'm really excited about that, Andrea, and it's a way to it's trying to bring the community together, because there's a lot of people working in isolation, and it's trying to work a way that we're all connected.
That's right.
We're all on the same page a bit more. So yeah, so
in unity we can do more.
Absolutely. So absolutely. Yep.
What AARC have been doing is when we can't work with somebody to get into a rehab straight away, we put a framework of support around them. And we've learned through previous people's experiences, like our trainer George Patricky, who's been in the industry for over 24 years, and actually that was the same framework that was put around me organically, which you know, I had a sponsor, a buddy, a coach, that came into my life and that would ring me on a daily basis, and you know, and kind of kick my butt out of bed and say, no, you don't want to die today, Andrea, die tomorrow. Today we're going to go and walk on the beach, or today we're going to go and help Mrs. Jones because she's got cancer. And you know, it took my eyes off myself, and I was able to just have something proactive to keep myself busy. We laughed a lot, and that was really, really important. I think laughter and joy, doing things that the person in recovery remembered to be fun. They're not going to feel anything for a long time because of the dopamine supply in the brain's been depleted. The transporters and receptors are broken down. The production of dopamine doesn't start to repair you know, for a long time, and so it takes about 12 to 18 months for that frontal lobe to have its own perfect function again, you know. So that's a long time after ice for that frontal, you know, for them to be able to think logic and process by themselves.
But it's good news.
It's doable.
Yeah.
You know, look at us. Yeah. You know, we've been able to do it. And a bit crazy, but no, I'm kidding. But we you know, encourage people to get a support person. Yeah, get a buddy. Get along to an NA meeting. Yeah. NA meeting, because they are important. They really matter, and
there's healing and connection of people, and it's just you can't underestimate the power of people and that connection. So
and unconditional love, isn't it? Love, people that won't judge you because they've been there, and it's really powerful. So so far you have a sponsor, you have a group therapy, which is your NA, CMA. NA, AA, you know, church, whatever group you want to make that your group session 2-3 times a week initially, and then you can cut that down. So you have your sponsor, your group session, and your AOD counsellor, drug and alcohol counsellor, So to start that and put that framework around you helps you from relapsing. You know that 98% of people that embark in ice addiction actually don't, you know, step into recovery, you know, straight away, and you know, it's a hard uphill battle. So you know, we encourage you to put that framework. It just helps the whole process. It makes it easier. And so whether you're waiting for a rehab to come up, you know, have a think about that, and you can chat to us anytime. We're always live on our Facebook page. We have our care team who are there to answer any questions and to hook you up with the care team hooks you up with a buddy, sponsor, and we do that as a team, as a family. We're here to help. So can you tell us a little bit about the work that you do on the ground today?
Yeah, I can. So I work up in the prison, working with lads pre and post release, fellas that are getting close to release. We just started to talk about what the plans are, and you know, and just work along that and into the community, and so that's kind of the work. And some of the fellas are keen for change, which is really exciting. So you know, you meet some of the lads, they're sort of, I always see it as an opportunity just to, you know, get alongside somebody. And most of the guys, most of them that I work with, you know, have some sort of a drug addiction.
Yeah.
It just seems to go with the territory, but
Yeah.
and some blokes are more ready for that change, and others are still along the journey. So.
Awesome, and you also, I've seen you do it, you're budding people, you know, that just come in and want some support.
Yeah, got some flexibility. You know, we have a couple of programs where I work up at 10 Thomas Street. We have a coaching program. So yeah, it's same sort of thing. You know, work with somebody's plans and whatever their plan is to move forward. So in case, you know, if I guess we're a mental health service, but you know the reality is for a lot of people in addiction there is a mental health issue and a drug issue, dual diagnosis.
Yeah.
So that seems to be pretty standard.
Yeah.
So, but that is one of the, how I say, like that is one of the requirements of coming to 10 Thomas Street, that that you can identify with some sort of mental health issue.
Yeah.
And we can just work on whatever's your plan, like whatever you're trying to get better at, getting stronger at, wanting to build resilience around. So, you know, that's what we do at 10 Thomas Street.
And I've seen these guys, you know, being gifted, I guess, blessed to be able to come in and work and train some people out of their offices. And I've seen the love, you know, that these guys give out to their clients, and it's outstanding. You know, if you're out there and you're hurting in Cairns, I urge you to connect. Yeah, connect with us. We can put you through, you know, to the Cairns office, and you know, with love, anything's possible. Change is possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So, and now you're all recovered, and you
Yeah.
don't think about it anymore.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, like one of my mentors from the creche, I remember catching up with him, and I said to him, a bloke by the name of Murray, awesome fella. I said to Muzz, I don't know what's happening, brother, but you know, when I see someone on the gear, I feel for them.
Yeah.
I don't have this like, where is it? You know, and he's, mate, when that's starting to happen, there's a shift, you know. And I was like, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. So how many years did you take to get to that place?
I don't know, like it's 09 was the start. I did have a relapse, which it's okay. As long as we get back in the fight, you know, and relapsed for about 2 months, got back to another rehab in 2010 and haven't looked back.
Wow.
So what are we, 18? I don't count, it's just for today, sort of, you know, like, but I think the thing is, Andrea, is putting the work into your recovery. Like I can't, like, you know, work hard, you know, at your recovery. Like, you know, if you're just going to go and do a couple of push-ups, you're not really going to get much of a result from that. But if you're going to train hard, you're going to get results. Yeah. It's the same with your recovery. You know, I can't stress that enough. Like, you know, I've really lived and breathed it for a long time now, and I know I've healed a lot from the hurts of the past. Yeah. So, and when that happens, there's just the desire to use goes. Yeah. It just does. Yeah. Because there's healing there. Yeah. So, yeah.
I tell you what, if I had met you, you know, when I was first, I would have wanted to buddy you, because you're an inspiration. You really are. And you know, if you're out there in Cairns and you need to connect with somebody and you want some help, it's the person come and see. So, and there's other people that work with you obviously as well that can do
absolutely.
some type of work.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You know, we're here to support. We need each other, and especially while we're entrapped in that world. It is a horrific place to be entrapped in, and we are here to help. Yeah, we needed somebody one day, and we want to give back.
Yeah, there's hope, you know, and you need hope. You absolutely need hope, and to know that it is possible. Yeah, you've got to, like, you know, that's the first bit. There was a point in my life where I didn't think it was possible. I thought I was going to be a drug addict for forever. And I thought that's just how it was. But no, that was a lie. And when I started to see, when I went to rehab, that was where I was first exposed to recovery and hope. Yeah. So that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we've got people that work with us now that were in ice addiction or drug addiction for 21 years. Yep. You know, and their family members didn't think that they could get recovery, and we're like, you know, here they are now, you know, clean for probably almost the same amount of time, but giving back and helping people along the way, and it's amazing, and he's totally recovered, you know, mentally, and yeah, I mean, he's been blessed. Today is the chemical concoction of ice in the streets today is a little bit more powerful than it was, you know, 20 years ago. So, you know, the longevity, I think, of use of ice in our community today, it takes over very quick and destroys the brain very, very quick, and the organs. So, you know, we're urging out there, not even once, guys. You know, that's our message in schools and workplaces. It's not worth it. Don't forget the t-shirts. You can buy these awesome t-shirts on our website, www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and all the proceeds from the t-shirt sales actually go back in 100% back to help do what we do. Yeah, we need resources, we need petrol in the car to get to a school, to come up here to Cairns to do some work in the schools, and you know, these guys just work, all of our team, all their hearts are the same, you know, they want to help that next person entrapped in there, you know, and so they'll do whatever it takes, you know, and it's not about the money, but we need money to do what we do, yeah. So on that note, I urge you to, if you want to help, if you want to come on board, there is a volunteers button on australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and you can apply there to be a volunteer if you're in Cairns area. You know, we welcome you. We're still, you know, we've formed quite a good group of people that are gonna.
There's a lot of passionate people up here that want to do something about the problem. So, which is great.
And we're going to start off with some forums. We've started off doing some training with some people who have recovered from addiction, and they, you know, they're going to be amazing presenters and agents of change, I call them, in this community. And I'm very, very excited to see what's coming up here. It's a beautiful place. Cairns is a beautiful place, and there's a lot of all over Australia. There's a lot of hurt, you know, from this drug ice. So we're, I guess, activating people with tools to go and help the community, and we're really blessed to be here.
Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming up, and you know, your passion is contagious. It just moves people into action. So I just thank you so much like that. You've come to Cairns, and it's just been amazing. So,
and on that note, if you want to help financially, you might not have time to volunteer, or and you might think, I want to help this cause, I want to put the freeze on ice in our nation, but I work full time, how can I help? You can actually hop online and join the AAIC Army, and what that means is that with a small contribution a month, whether it's $5, $10, or if you're a business, you might want to contribute a service, that it's totally tax deductible. We are a charity, non-for-profit. All proceeds go back in to educate our community, and specifically youth, but we work in mines, we work in workplaces, we work in child safety, we work in prisons. So, but our target market is youth, because they are so vulnerable. There's so much drug. Ice is the drug of choice out there. There's not much else out there at the moment, and that's what's being pushed onto our youth specifically. So we're there to protect that and to show them and expose it for what it is, so that they don't make, I guess they can make better choices for themselves. You see, when that pipe was introduced to me, I don't know if to you too, but it didn't come with on the side. It didn't come with a little label saying ingredients, and it didn't come with a little label saying side effects. This
stuff will just put you into a psychosis and make you think all sorts of weird and wonderful things. You know,
it doesn't come with that.
Damages people so quickly.
So if you want to help, you can join the Army, and that'll be a way that it can enable us to provide resources and tools within the community. So we've been up here now for a couple of days, and some of our team from the Gold Coast have come up to work in the schools, and we're doing some work in the prisons, and I just want to invite them onto the couch. Hey, come onto the couch, guys.
Squeeze in.
You probably know a couple of things they said. Squeeze in.
I'll jump on DJ's lap, eh?
Oh no, not too squishy. Alright, we haven't got a live stream video over there, but Shane, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah,
For sharing
no, all
your
good.
heart, and it's been an absolute honour to be able to, come to Cairns and get to know you and see the work that you do, and to be able to walk alongside and help together, helping
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
No
for
worries.
sharing tonight.
No worries.
So you guys know DJ? He's been on the show before. He's,
I hope so.
and he does a lot of work on the Gold Coast and in communities, and now I'm just dragging him out of his state and going, come on, we're going to go on a road trip. And,
It's good.
only because I love these guys, And this is Jimmy. Say hello, Jimmy.
Hello. How you going?
And this is the first time Jimmy's on the couch, but he will be on the couch next week, and we will be talking about Jimmy's story and how ice took over his life and took him down to a place where he never imagined possible. So I want you to share this post so that we can help more people out there. Yeah. So guys, how's it been up in Cairns?
It's been great.
Yeah, unbelievable. No words can express the feeling coming out of talking to these schools, and especially myself being Indigenous and seeing a lot of the Indigenous boys and girls in the schools and the way they're taking me on, listening and taking it in. It's pretty fulfilling.
Yeah, it's awesome that you can turn something that came out to kill you and destroy you. You can take that and you can turn it around and use it for good. Yeah, guys, we're here for something. We're here in this community for something. What are you here for? If you have been through ice addiction and you want to help, here's your opportunity. We're in Cairns at the moment. We're looking for people who have recovered that want to give back, and we want you to get in touch with us. Yeah, and it is a platform, that we can give back, and it's so rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't describe it.
Yeah, you can't describe it.
It's the best feeling.
A lot better than rewarding it. It's unbelievable. Like, you can't describe. There's no word that means how you feel and what we're doing.
Yeah. Their purpose is like the closest thing, and being able to share the love that's inside when you see somebody destroying themselves, And these guys are amazing because I don't know how many interventions you've done on this trip, but they're always putting their hand up, pick me, and we come across people all the time that are entrapped in addiction, and they get to meet the guys and they go, hey, I want what you got, and they're amazing because they only just come back from taking somebody to dinner, and being able to say, you can do this, man, I'll show you the way. And let me tap you into the services here, and Shane's here to help, and just loving on this person and believing in them sometimes makes all the difference, and from lived experience,
Yeah, and there's that too, guys, like you guys out there that sitting there and don't know how you can make a difference. You guys all can make a difference by liking and sharing this page, passing it on. You don't know who in your group of friends or social media friends might be suffering from addiction, and all they might see is this little link pop up, and it might help them find a pathway to recovery.
Especially if we can catch it early, because a lot of people don't talk about it. Yeah, it's shameful to talk about it, or using drugs, or hiding away, and they don't want to talk about it. But if we can catch it early, if you're sharing this page, can really touch somebody, they might reach out for help. Hey, so that's why it's important. To share the posts that we do and to share the stories. On our YouTube channel, we have an array of stories, different people's journey, and it all ends up the same, and they're the ones that are blessed to be able to come out the other side of that entrapment, It's a pity that not all do, and not all make the right choices to reach out, So we're here to say if you want recovery, and it is. Do you reckon it's better on this side?
Oh,
100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
Life is great.
It's worth it. It's hard at the beginning. Yeah, it's hard at the beginning, but you can do it. If we did it, you can do it. So we're here to say, we're here to help. The number for our head office is 0756656063, or you can reach out on our website. You can send us a message. And that's www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. And our family support number, if you're a family out there and you're struggling and you're not sure what to do or how to help your loved one, that number is 0481 844 555. So we're out here in Cairns. We're here till Saturday, but we're not leaving, without leaving some tools behind. Yeah, so we're training some awesome presenters that we're leaving here. We've formed a group.
And formed a team.
Yeah, and that's exciting, Shane, because we're going to get more momentum and more traction moving forward. And we're aiming for a community forum, which we're going to kick off with. And from there, we've got 14 other projects that we're going to run.
Yep. Yeah, so we're going to be busy. That's great. And we really do want more support and more people to jump on board, become part of the solution.
Yes.
Let's move away from the problem and jump into the solution. So just encourage anyone, just give us a call, get in contact with these guys. They'll put you in contact with us up here in Cairns. And let's do something about it. So, yeah.
I said, it's funny because back at the office I have this little sign on my phone, and sometimes I move it, I put it on my computer, and it says magnify the solution. So sometimes the team walk in to tell me about some problem, and they look at that sign and they go, oh yeah, magnify the solution. They walk back out and they come back, and that's what we're here to do. We want to magnify the solution. Okay?
We hear about the problem all the time. We see it on the news. I hear problem, and that just kind of sucks your life out of you.
Yeah. So
let's talk about solutions. Yeah. Let's do something about it. Anything's better than nothing. And
we need a radical solution, because what we're doing is not working.
Yeah.
So we know for a fact that it was the wastewater research, that meth in the wastewater, there was a 480% increase in meth in the wastewater over 6 years. Now that is alarming, yeah. Some of the stats that we're getting is just really scary, guys. And our program is modelled off the meth project. The meth project in 8 states over 10 years in America was able to dramatically reduce ice use and every other drug use, as a matter of fact, from 8.8% to 2.2%. They're dropping, and we're continuing to go up. It's not rocket science. Hey, let's just take something that's worked and implement it into our community. On top of that, we're linking in with all the services, and we're providing buddy systems, and lived experience is what counts. How can I tell you not to do something if I haven't done it? We are picking out, I guess, the cream of the crop of presenters like these guys who have recovered and have a heart to help other people not go there, and to help them out of addiction in every state. And we're going around and we're forming groups and training presenters and just activating things for change. Yeah. So if you want to be part of Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, and we are a family, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're a bit squishy on the couch, yeah?
I have a question. Sorry, Rosalind's online saying that she's realised that she's got nothing to do. She can't help her son whatsoever. Could you just explain what we'll do for a family when the son's not ready?
Yeah. Rosalind, I hear you, and that is only right now. I don't want you to lose hope. Okay, we would like to connect with you through our family support team. And that number is 0481 844 555. Now, what our family support team will do, they are trained counsellors and psychologists in our clinical arm, but they have lived experience also. Now, they will work with you to help prepare you to help your loved one, yeah, with the tools that you need. Because what happens, Rosalind, we'll give you a video to watch about a cycle of addiction. Okay, there does come a time where your son will be ready for contemplating change, and that is when you need to recognise that time, and when we can arm you with some tools to be able for you to step in, and even bring one of us in to have a conversation with your son. Yeah, and that's what we do best. Yeah, we come in and we can explain we know where they are, and we can help create a pathway for them to get out. So that's what you've been doing, isn't it, DJ?
Yeah, definitely. Like, we've done a few up here in Cairns at the moment, and not a lot of people know we're up here at the moment. So guys, like, if anyone is from up here in Cairns and does need help or just wants to have a chat, don't hesitate to get in contact with us after this live feed. Myself and Jimmy and Drea, we're more than happy, and Shane, more than happy to come meet up with you and have a coffee, have a bit of a chat, and see what we can do. Set you up to link you up in the pathways to recovery, or set you up on a tripod system, see what we can do to help you out. We don't bite. If you do see us around town, come up, say hello.
And usually they're wearing these great t-shirts. So Rosalind, I just don't want you to lose hope, and you can't do this alone. You know, it is not your fault. It is, you know, you don't need to carry any shame. Please connect with us so that we can connect you to a family support group that can encourage you, give you tools, and so that you can get an understanding too about what's going on in the brain of your loved one. He's still in there. He's still in there, and we want to be able to, I guess, come in and help you. So please get in touch with us. Are there any more questions out there? Now, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. We have Jimmy on the couch, amazing new presenter, been able to do some amazing work on the ground out here. He's outstanding. He makes the hairs on my arm rise. I do have some, just a little bit.
It'd probably be good for Rosalind to watch next week. I'll explain a lot what my family went through, because my parents honestly did give up hope there for a while, and honestly now I'm never been happy with my family. I'm back living with mum and dad, and I'll tell you that next week, how I got there and all those kind of things. So don't give up hope on them, that's for sure.
And you probably didn't know that your family was hurting so much, and that what was going on. You know? Not
at all. I was so worried, I think, about myself and just chasing the drug and how to supply my habit.
Yeah. And that's because ice hijacks the frontal lobe of the brain. You know, somebody that's addicted to ice and they're using every day, they can't think logic, rational decisions. They can't see as far as they know. They're operating on the midbrain, that's the animal brain, and it just wants the next 5 minutes of pleasure. Yeah, and it'll do whatever it takes to get it. So, you know, the addiction is so severe and the craving is so severe. It's like, if I cut off your air supply, you'll do whatever it takes to get the next breath. And the same thing goes for somebody addicted to ice. And he can only see what's around him, in front of him right now, and the next hit, and the next hit, and the next chase, and taking everything that's getting in the way of that out of the way. But like Jimmy's saying, don't lose hope, because his parents were the same. They lost hope, and you know, he was able to step out of that, you know, and by the grace of God he's alive today and being able to work with us. So yeah, stay tuned next week, Rosalind, because I'm sure Jimmy has a lot he can share with you about his journey. So we've come up to the end of the show. Guys, if you have any questions, now is the time to do that. Glenn, do you have any questions?
A lot of congratulations for people saying congratulations, Shane, for sharing the story, and a lot of encouragement there.
Cool. Thanks. Thank you. Yep.
Is there anything else, Shane, that you want to share that you feel in your heart? I mean, there's so much that you can share.
There's always heaps, yeah. So trying to, you know, just go off on all sorts of tangents, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't long enough, is it?
Yeah, it's but just
stories and that.
Yeah, brother. Like there's always and but I don't know. Like hope. I think there is always hope, and like I just want to kind of echo what Jimmy was saying. You know, Mum and Dad have given up hope on me. Mum thinks it's a miracle what's happened, and Dad had me written off. He had written me off, like, you know, no hope for my son. So yeah, just want to say that there is always hope, and it's important that we put like that, because I didn't know that recovery was possible. Yeah. All I ever seen was addicts. People so, you know, just trying to get the message out there that there is hope, that people can change. You know, without believing that, it's hard to make them changes. So you've got to plant the seed, so someone in addiction can actually say, wait a minute, maybe it is possible. You know. So, yeah. And
that's what's most powerful about what we do. You know, people that have been there, that have recovered, you know, when we're meeting with people that are in hell and they see us out of hell, you know, they go, is that possible for me? Yes, it is.
Absolutely,
yes,
it is.
Yeah. We'd love to help you get to the other side, you know. There's one of our clips in our workshop that the presenter shares, and she says, you know, I didn't know that I was going to go to the other side of the world, you know, the dark side, and that I wouldn't be able to get out. And that's what it's like, isn't it, guys? Yeah, it's like you're on the other side, you can't get out, you know, you're entrapped in a hell in itself. And so, yeah, we want to help people see there is the other side. Absolutely. And come over to the other side, you know? Much better.
I love that.
A final question. Stacey's asked that a lot of professionals have told her that in order to help her son, she's got to let him go until he hits rock bottom. She said, is there anything else she can do?
Stacey, there's a letting go and not letting go. So I would really encourage you to touch base with us, okay, and attend one of our family support groups. Letting go about you can't be on top of him 24/7 or her 24/7 and make her want recovery, but you can still love them. And so you're letting go without letting go. Does that make sense? So maybe DJ might be more qualified to answer this question because his mum was amazing. Yeah, and one of us family support people is DJ's mum. So if you want to contact us, we can get you in touch with Carol and you know what she did. You know, do you want to share a bit about?
I suppose it was just not enabling them, just so still show that love, care, and support, you know, but don't put it in a way that, you know, I'm gonna pay your bills for you, I'm gonna help you out this week with your rent, I'm gonna, you know, don't do all that sort of stuff, but just, you know, show them that you still care and you still love them. Like, you know that one day they're gonna get to that point where they're gonna need that lift out. So just so that you're strong enough at that point, you know, to pull them out, you need to sort of let go of the enabling. I'm not saying you're enabling, but like if you are, just sort of lay back on the enabling and, you know, still show that love, caring, support, but not financial support and that's going to enable them to continue the use of their addiction. But yeah, I do recommend getting in contact with us. I can have a phone call with you and sort of have a bit more in-depth chat and, you know, let you know my story and how my mum went through it. And there's a lot of other mothers that have gone out there and, you know, we've got them in our contacts that we can push on to you to, you know, see what they struggled through and how they got through the other side. You know, it is a long journey, but there is hope at the end of the tunnel. You know, you can see that tunnel's at the end here. We've all come through the other side of it, you know, and it's not, we didn't do it on our own. You know, we needed the love, the care, the support from family and other people that have gone through addiction.
And DJ's story is available on our YouTube channel. So he has sat a session on the couch and shared. But I remember, you know, it blows me away to think about it all the time. Like DJ's mum would go and write on his window on his car when she, you know, knew where he was going to be. I love you, son, and I want you back. You know, I want my son back. So we've got mums out there at the moment who have been able to get, I guess, help their son create a pathway to start talking to a counsellor. And that initially she was like, you know, get your ass home and I'm so angry at you for doing that and behaving like that. And she's chasing him around town and enabling him with money. And but now we've been able to show her a different side and she's sending him love hearts and saying, I love you, I can't wait till my son's back, I've cooked for you. And but without going, no, I can't have you in the house because your behaviour is not acceptable. So there is a letting go, but I still love you. I just don't love your behaviour. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But there's so much more that we can share with you. But we do urge you to connect to a family support group. Yeah, and love conquers all.
Absolutely.
That's the last. I guess the last at the end of the tunnel, isn't it? Love conquers everything. You just keep loving on them. You know. So, are there any other questions before we leave tonight? I think we've come up to the end of the evening. If you have any other questions and we haven't answered that, we do, you know, keep this conversation going via Facebook Messenger, or you can contact us directly on a private message or on our website, www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. And if you're out there and you want some support, whether it's through family support, or if you're in addiction and you want out, the number to call is 0756656063. Thanks for having us on the couch tonight, guys. Thanks so much for sharing. These guys are amazing out here. Everybody's just falling in love with them. And no, you can't have them Cairns. They're from Gold Coast. So we're taking them back home. But we do have some amazing presenters here in Cairns that one day very soon will have, hopefully, you know, have them on the couch to have a chat with you. Shane, thank you so much. It's an absolute honour to work with you and yeah, to be able to help more people out there, and blessings to you. And good night, Australia. Don't forget, get your t-shirts on our website, and yeah, we look forward to speaking to you again next week.